up, everyone? I am Evan J. Thomas, and this is the Better Listen Up with Evan J. Thomas podcast, episode number 2. And number 2, today you can hear this on all of our episodes on the Badass Radio Network, and you can see it on our Badass Productions YouTube channel. Just go to badassproductions1.com to get all the info on where to listen or see the show. So who doesn't love going to a music festival? Episode number 2, we're going to discuss this. So who loves it? I mean, come on, the outdoors, hanging with friends, making of new ones, the food that's available there, the beverages, and most of all, the music. Festivals used to be like a 2 or 3 day event, but they have expanded in the past few years and have only gotten bigger. I mean, they are fucking massive with like a couple dozens or even 100 or so or even more bands. I mean, Summerfest, one of the biggest ones, is going on right now. So you pay a few $100s for what is now like a 4 or 5 day music festival. You get a camping spot or a hotel room, and you get flights or you take a road trip to the festival just so you can get there. I mean, that's at least the first part of it all. So festivals aren't cheap and they take a toll on your wallet, but they do make memories for life, because every single one I've been to, I have amazing memories for everything that I've been to there as well. So they also take a toll on your body as you make your way from stage to stage all day long just to see your favorite acts or to catch new ones. So all day long while you're out there, you got to make sure you hydrate, you have the sunblock, you have shade to kind of keep yourself cool. You kind of go back in and out just to make sure that you are healthy and actually alive by the end of this, because I've seen so many people passed out and just not being able to handle just the sun and the heat sometimes. You could be in the upper 90 degrees. It could be humid all day, and just with all that walking and everything, it is just crazy and how much that takes a toll on your body. So the weather could also be immaculate, or you can get evacuated with oncoming storms, which we have seen many times lately. Lollapalooza has had it happen. Welcome to Rockville this past year had basically a day and a half shut out because of rains. But you roll the dice and you take a chance just so you can see the headliners being those iconic bands that we grew up with. You want to see like Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Kiss, Foo Fighters, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Slipknot, Korn, Disturbed. I mean, those are all the big names that are usually out there. And then there are those, as I call them, the next level bands. So they could be, headliners, but they're right about at that cusp. So you have bands like Hailstorm, Breaking Benjamin, Papa Roach, Ministry, Chevelle, Nothing More. And then you have that other tier of bands, the new up-and-comers like Crowbot, Dead, Tetrarch, Blacktop Mojo, Radkey, Dirty Honey, but you get the drift. There's just so many fucking bands out there. Another one I got to throw out there, Dropout Kings. Check those guys out. And actually, there's a whole bunch over my shoulder that you can see there as well. Yeah, they're all over the place. So, episode 2 of the Better Listen Up with Evan J. Thomas show. I will be bringing on a veteran of these rock and metal festivals and a staple at many of them as Darrin Perry, a.k.a. Mayhem Jesus, will be joining me shortly as we discuss our very experiences at music festivals right here on episode number 2 of the Better Listen Up with Evan J. Thomas podcast. Here we go. What's up, everybody? This is the Better Listen Up with Evan J. Thomas podcast. I am Evan J. Thomas, and with me over here is Darrin Perry, a.k.a. Mayhem Jesus. What is up, dude?
What's up, buddy?
So you've had an interesting, I would say wasn't last weekend, it was a weekend before. So you go to a lot of festivals.
I do.
You were at Welcome to Rockville.
Yes, sir.
So how did this whole persona of Mayhem Jesus begin, and how long have you been doing it?
I've been dressing up like Jesus for about 10 years probably, but I've only been doing it as Mayhem Jesus in the festival circuit since about 2015, I think was the first year I did it in a festival. I would do it just at parties and, anywhere I could get away with doing it. Sorry about that.
Oh, that was you?
But I don't know. I assume it was. I don't know. But I was hung out with a group called Camp Mayhem. You got all these camps that go camping and they'll group up, and you got Kyle's a Dick and all them. And then I was with a group at one time called Camp Mayhem, which since then we've fallen apart, but I kept the name and ran with it.
So obviously coming up with the name, what prompted it other than your look? Obviously, you have the look down as a Jesus. Well, at least white Jesus. Obviously, there's many.
I look like the picture
variations.
on your grandma's wall is how
Yeah,
I
exactly.
yeah, I did it at that festival, and I had a picture that kind of went sub viral. It got a lot of attention. It wasn't like viral, but it got a lot of attention, and that's what ultimately led to me getting my show on Rock Rage, and then I used that to ultimately get into the tour management and stuff that I do now.
And what is your what would you say is the reason that festivals brings you probably the most notoriety? Is it just because of the amount of days, the amount of time, the amount of bands, everything that's there? Like,
People.
what drew you to festivals?
Well, see, I go to festivals to hang out with friends and the bands and all that, where it's not so much for the music. I don't go, and I mean, I'll enjoy a set here and there, but it's so much chaos and so much shit going on that festivals are just kind of a family reunion for me. I go and I see a bunch of friends and hang out and party, where if I want to go and like enjoy a set and listen to the music and kind of vibe out, then I go to like a concert. There's a little more intimate settings and stuff like that.
So I'm figuring you probably bust out the Mayhem Jesus outfit at regular concerts too.
Occasionally, yeah. I used to only do it on Sundays, and
that makes sense.
I would only do it on Sunday, but once I started with the radio persona, then it's just a networking tool now.
And you got a pretty popular Facebook page, so that works out as well. You got some epic photos. I mean, you sent me a few of them. You have the one where you're standing there. I forgot the band in the background.
That's the one where I'm standing up and like the sun's coming down around me is the one that ultimately got me my radio show, and it got all the attention.
So where was that one?
That was at Louder Than Life in Louisville.
Which year?
That picture was 2015 or 16.
Okay.
And I had this grand vision of, instead of walking on water, walking the crowd to the stage.
Yeah.
And it's not controlled, but we got as close as we could. You get the idea.
So in the amount of time since you've been going since about 2015 with the persona, how many festivals have you kind of hit up? How many have you been to? And any favorites? I
mean, I've been to probably close to 100 since then. I've been to 5 or 6 this year already.
100 festivals?
Probably. We figure 2 days and all that within 7 years, probably pretty close. I mean, I'd say 70, 75 to 100 probably.
So how do you afford to do that? Because obviously now it's 4 days. So you're basically taking a week off of work just to go. Obviously you got camping if you're camping, or hotels or whatever you're doing. What funds this? Obviously, hopefully you get sponsors, or
I've got some sponsors. I've got my ink poisoning apparel. They take care of me pretty good. I got a few different little things. I got merch. Merch helps out a whole lot. My Mayhem Jesus shirts are, they're fun, so they sell pretty good. And just, man, luck, struggle. I do without a lot. Exactly. I save a lot of money at the festival on beer and weed because I dress like Jesus, and who doesn't want to party with Jesus?
And who doesn't want to buy you a drink?
Right.
So there you go. And who doesn't want to give you a hit? So might as well do it.
Yeah. There was one time I went to a festival last year, it's called Summer Bash here in Indiana. And I was like camping to where I had like the very farthest away from the stage you could get to camp is where I was at. And I was going back and I put on the gear, I donned the uniform. It's not a costume anymore. It's a uniform. But I put it on, and I couldn't hardly make it back to the stage. Everywhere, you make it a couple cars and somebody pull you over to do a shot or drink a beer, or, have some edibles. Man, it's a wonder I didn't end up in that lake before the night was over. Actually, I did. I got a picture of it.
And you're just like wiped out, and they're like, oh my God, now Jesus is dead. What happens now? So
the bad thing is, like, Metal in the Mountains last year, it started raining, and we still had the Lonely Ones and Head PE to play. So everybody starts in with that, oh, Jesus, make the rain stop, make the rain stop. Like, man, those miracles don't come cheap. Pass the plate, motherfucker, and then we'll talk.
So you were obviously just talking about the Metal in the Mountains and the rain. So speaking of rain, and I was going to get to that at the beginning of the show, but your Welcome to Rockville got 2 days basically wiped out of rain.
Yeah, man, that's just kind of part of it. People are gonna bitch about they're gonna bitch just to bitch. Anybody that fucking knows festivals and goes to you're running a risk. Now,
Yeah,
does it suck terribly that 2 of the 4 headliners were rained out? Of course it does.
yeah,
But man,
especially now. I mean, now that you have these festivals aren't just 2 days anymore; they're 4 days.
yeah, and
They're
5. I
actually
was there.
sometimes 5 if you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you do Thursday night, you got 5 straight
Did
days.
Wednesday through Sunday. I mean, it was a 5-day festival for me.
And especially, just anywhere you're at. I mean, Louder Than Life has been rained out. Chicago Open Air, where I've been to, is rained out. Luckily, Carolina Rebellion.
Yeah, it happens, man. It's part of it.
Lollapalooza, if you've been there. So
yeah.
it's everywhere.
If they, and it comes down to safety, a big part of it. If there's lightning, people will bitch, oh, it's just heat lightning. About the time somebody gets hurt, then everybody wants to sue.
Correct.
So let those fucking people bitch. I mean, shout out to DWP. They did their job. They kept everybody safe, kept the artists safe, kept the fans safe. I still support. It sucks. It does suck, but you make the best of it. I partied my ass off. I hung out with Diana in the grandstands, and we had a great time. It's just, you make the best of it. You don't let it get you down. You're hanging with a bunch of people that are like us.
Yeah, and you're always meeting new people, new friends, and then it's just a community once it gets there, because usually you see all these people at all the festivals, or depending on where you're located, you see them at shows. Kind of just melts into something even bigger than just you as Mayhem Jesus. It's a whole community.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's a festival. I'm not really there. It's cool to knock bands off your bucket list. You can score up. I've seen them live, with 100 bands doing a 20-minute set.
Yeah.
But it's a festival, so it's not going to be like a real show anyway. You'd get to hear them. It would have been cool. I've never seen Guns N' Roses. It would have been dope to see Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is, dude. I had a good time, and everybody I was hanging with had a good time. So.
All right. So I got to ask you this: must-haves that you always bring with you to a festival, other than weed.
Weed. That's about it, man. As long as I have weed, the festivals are getting pretty good about like offering free water and shit like that. You definitely need to stay hydrated. As much beer and stuff as I drink, you got to counteract it with some water, especially to make it through 5 days of partying and the heat. But really, weed. That's my must have it. Pretty much anywhere, like grocery store. I don't care.
Get it where you can, right?
Yeah.
And would you say there's any? Actually, that's my phone going off. I apologize for that. So that's my fault. And so, is there any festival etiquette that you could tell people? Because since you're such a veteran, I've only been to like a dozen. So I thought I was at a lot. I don't even touch what you've been to.
Man, it's like anywhere else, man. Just be cool. Be cool or be gone. It's kind of how I look at it. It's hot and uncomfortable, and people are going to be bumping into you and all that. But a metal festival I've said it probably a dozen times, but for the most visually violent aspect of our culture, and a mosh pit, watch somebody fall down and see how many hands reach down to pick them up, and watch how many hugs are afterwards. And it's just be cool. And we police ourselves. If you're not, then chances are you'll have somebody take care of it anyway.
Yeah, you get the big guy in the pit that if somebody purposely hurt somebody, that guy's going to get hurt too. I've been there on both ends, so and
shout out to the Cogs of War. They're huge in the unsigned scene. They're huge in the live music scene. They go everywhere, and they're all about their moshing. But I had a lady come to me at Welcome to Rockville. She had never moshed, an older lady, wanted to terribly. So I put her in contact with Cogs of War, because I mean, they go hard, but they do it with honor, is how I like to put it. It's a super respectful group. They love the music. Their hearts are in the right places, and they won't let her get hurt.
So have you ever had an injury at a festival that you could talk about? Or
oh fuck yeah, dude, all
right.
I come out. It's like I'm coming out of combat sometimes, coming out of some of these festivals, man. I'm not as young as I used to be, and I still want to get out there and mosh, and I want to, crowd surf and all that shit. And I, I was dressed like Jesus at back when they still had Rock on the Range in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, it was just a few years ago.
Yeah, well, this was probably 2015 or 16, right about the incarnation of all this Jesus stuff at the festivals for me. And I was crowd surfing, and they dropped me, and I landed on my feet. And you can hear this dude next to, because I had my camera going, and he's like, he landed on his feet like the fucking Messiah. It's just, you get some cat-like reflexes after a few years and getting dropped a few times. I can contort my body in a lot of ways to keep from landing on my head.
Yeah, so you're like a cat being thrown into like a bathtub. Just kind of catch yourself. Not as quick as you used to be. You probably fall flat on your face now.
I definitely have some times where it shows that I'm not as young as I used to be.
So you were saying, how mosh pits are. For actually, the last time I moshed was 2019, Louder Than Life at the Dead set. That was the first time in like 15 years that I did, and it was just a fucking blast. And
that was a great show. I was there.
You were there too, so there you go. That's probably where I first saw you, because I know you were wandering around there. Yeah. But being in that pit right there, I mean, I was in there for about 2 minutes. I get out, I'm in my mid 40s, so holy shit, was I sore for like 2 days.
When I was
have to have a lot of cardio.
Yeah, cardio and shit. It was Florida, and if it wasn't raining a fucking monsoon, sorry, I don't know if I can cuss.
No, you can swear all you want.
If it wasn't a monsoon, then it was, hot as balls. And I'm in there and moshing and all this shit, and I get out of breath and hot. And that crowd surfing out just seemed like the most sensible way of doing it. Fighting the crowd, or just real quick, hey man, put me up. And they'll throw my little ass up with a quickness and give me some fresh air.
Yeah, you're lucky because you probably what, weigh 160 pounds or so.
Yeah, if on a fat day.
On a fat day, on a good day. So when you're out of water, you're probably at like 155.
Yeah,
you're easy to toss around. You're one of those guys I could just bench press up there. So it's easy.
Yeah. I that's what I usually do. I'll find a big dude and
get on his shoulders, go up.
You even lift, bro? And then fucking up and go.
Exactly. So have you ever been in a situation where you actually thought you might die?
Not
like
die.
In a mosh pit, or just like in a group.
I've had crowds. You know how crowds will kind of close on you?
Yeah, they swell.
I've had swell is a good way of putting it. And I've had that happen to where it just, kind of kicks up that little bit of panic in you and a little claustrophobia, I guess. But and real like 7 Death shows, I've said that before too. I was at a 7 Death show where I was 6 inches off the ground and at an angle like that until the crowd decided that I was going to be 6 inches off the ground and at an angle like that.
So you physically didn't move at all because
my feet, I moved a lot.
Yeah, you're just sitting like this the whole time because you can't physically move anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of part of it too. And if you don't want to deal with all that, then you just stand a little further back.
Well, I'll have to kind of piggyback on that. So Lollapalooza, I don't remember what year it was, 2010, 2011. I think it was Green Day or Foo Fighters, whatever it was. Trying to get out from the front to go to the back. It has to be one of the most daunting experiences because nobody wants to fucking move out of your way.
Going from the front to the back's way easier than going from the back to the front.
Well, yeah, that will definitely. But then, like in the middle of a show, though, nobody wants to move.
That's why I crowd surf. Crowd surfing out. I'm a little dude, man. I crowd surf. That's like my fucking express lane.
Just give me up and move me back. Just be like, go that way.
Yeah. It doesn't really matter. And the bad thing is that you'll be crowd surfing and like you'll be being carried toward a pit, and then you have to like start trying to direct people and
maneuver
from above. Hey, dude, take me this way. Take me any fucking way right there.
So that's at least you haven't died yet. So Jesus is still alive. He's still rocking and rolling. What festivals do you have coming up this year?
This year I'm planning to hit Blue Ridge. I'm gonna hit Louder Than Life. I will probably hit. I'm actually hosting a couple of festivals this year.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna host a festival called Moose Fest in Illinois. My buddies in Pigweed are gonna be headlining that.
Okay.
Then I'm in the talks with a festival down in Florida. It hasn't been confirmed, so I don't want to say anything yet, but
Understandable.
I'm working on kind of getting the hosting end of it.
That's good. And where can we hear your radio show? You said Rock Rage, right?
Yeah. I've got a show Friday through, I just changed it, Friday through Sunday from 10 to 11 Eastern. So it'd be 7 to 8 in LA.
Now, do you do pre-recorded shows or live shows?
Yeah, I travel so much. I pre-record it. I'll do usually like I concentrate heavy on unsigned bands. That's my passion project is pushing these unsigned bands.
Okay.
If you want a top 40, you can go anywhere and get top 40. If you want to hear the best fucking up and coming rock and metal on the planet, then you need to listen to my show.
And what's the name of the show again?
Excommunicated with Mayhem Jesus.
And I think you need to bring that to my station, Badass Radio Network. I think we have some
offers for that show. Really,
we have some slots available, so I'll definitely be messaging you to see if you're interested in sharing your show on my station.
Start syndicating
that. And actually, I have a radio show that I syndicate on 4 different outlets. So, including my own. So
that's something that we could talk about. But usually what I'll do is like Fridays and Sundays, I go heavy on just pushing music, not a whole lot of bullshit, none of that. But I get badass interviews, and then I'll air those usually on Saturdays. So I just do it's like a long, like kind of like yours, like a podcast kind of format. I used to break it up and all that. Now I just play the whole interview through.
Well, it's interesting because actually this is one of 4 podcasts that I have. And really? I have 10 radio shows that I do. So not all at once, obviously. They're all different types and stuff like that. And one's an hour, another's like 15 minutes. You got to have that time to be able to space it out. So, Mayhem Jesus, where is your merch? Obviously, you said, I would love to see a T-shirt. Obviously, you don't have one on.
I don't have one on. I was actually rocking my sponsor stuff today.
I see that right there.
I'll show you one, though.
Let's see, because I want to know where I can get one.
You can get them from me. Right now, I just got them in, so I'm doing all the sales myself.
Okay. So we just message you directly, or is there a website?
Yeah. No, right now it's just message me directly. Give me 1 second.
Hey, no problem, man. I'll just put on some away music, and we'll.
Some away music.
You are. All right, you're back.
Yeah, it doesn't take long. All right, I've got 2 different designs, man. They both have, of course, the Mayhem Jesus on the front. And then on the back, I got this from a buddy of mine, Joe Defiant, in the band Defiant. He lives for your sins. And then I've got another one that Elias Soriano coined from Nonpoint.
Nonpoint, lead singer.
And it says baptized in the pit.
Nice.
So they both say Mayhem Jesus on the front, and the back one is He lives for your sins, and one is baptized in the pit. There's all kinds of we got all kinds of stuff coming.
So do we have to hit you up on Darrin Perry Facebook page or Mayhem Jesus, or both?
Either one.
Either one.
Yeah, either one. Just get a hold of Mayhem. Mayhem Jesus is usually easier to find. Darrin's hard to spell.
Well, yeah, especially because yours is Darrin.
Yeah.
So it's a little.
I was named after Bobby Darrin. My first name's Robert.
There you go. Oh,
Splash.
So you kind of took that rock and roll hoochie coo going on there.
Oh, it's in my blood. My great grandfather.
In fact, I remember that was shocking too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was too. My great grandfather, he ran a big brass band on riverboats back in the 20s and 30s. So like swing bands and all that good shit.
So that's kind of how you got acclimated with the rock metal, was just early on you got pushed to it.
My sister actually was big on getting me involved in like hair metal and shit like that. And then Nirvana kind of took me into my own lane.
Same here.
And really, it was just a couple years ago. I worked, man, forever. I would go to festivals, but I would work factory jobs and coal mines, and I bartended forever to pay for it. And I kind of had a near breakdown time where I decided that there is more to life than having a job that you hate to pay for shit you don't need. So I've gone just both feet into the music industry, and now I'm tour managing, and I got all kinds of crazy shit going on.
So do you have any websites or anything or other Facebook
We're getting that. I'm just talking to the guy now to get one built up for us. I had one and the guy was a little shady. So I don't know how to do it, man. And I don't have time for it. I got some, with me, I'm on the road all the time and trying to get my show together. And it's just, I don't have time to fuck with it.
Totally get it, man. Well, I do appreciate you joining me this afternoon. I know you've been busy. You've had a bunch of other interviews on other podcasts in recent days and weeks. So, I appreciate you joining on the brand new Better Listen Up with Evan J. Thomas podcast. So
I appreciate you having me, dude.
This will be dropping in a few days, and hopefully at some point we actually cross paths where I can meet you in person. Yeah. Obviously, you and I are going to be talking a lot in the near future because I want one of those shirts, first of all.
There you go.
Then I want to see if I can get you your show on my station. So there we go.
Well, you know how to get a hold of me, man.
You sure do.
I'm not hard to find. Yeah,
so look up. It's Mayhem Jesus on Facebook on the socials, right?
Yeah, Mayhem Jesus. It's the only different is Mayhem Jesus MMSX on Instagram.
MMSX. So
yeah, it was Metal Music Society X.
Okay.
A project that I built that up too much to cut it loose.
Well, can't you change the name though, or no?
Can't change that one. It won't let me change that part of it.
That sucks. Well, anyway, Darrin, Mayhem Jesus, appreciate you joining me here, and definitely be in touch, man.
All right, man. Thank you.
So thank you for joining me on this episode number 2 of the Better Listen Up with Evan J. Thomas show. As I said at the beginning of the show, you can hear this episode and all of our episodes on the Badass Radio Network. You can catch it on demand on badassproductions1.com, and you can also check it out on our YouTube channel as well. Just go to badassproductions1.com and you can get all of that info. So thank you guys all for listening, and until next time, make sure you stick right here with the Better Listen Up with Evan J. Thomas show.